This is the Coach John Walsh pregame show with John Piper and Rick Threlkill, only on the Denton Guyer Football Radio Network.
The Coach John Walsh Show is brought to you by Lantana Eye Care at flowermoundeyecare.com and also ProCare Collision. Check them out at pccollision.com. Well, Coach, good evening, and thanks again for sharing your time with us for this final Coach's Show of 2019. What an all-around great game this past weekend. The defense dominated, and the offense rolled for a third straight week. We went into Mustang's hometown and whooped them pretty good. Your thoughts on last week's game?
Yeah, again, extremely pleased with the entire unit. You know, it's a typical football game. There's going to be this deep in the playoffs. There's going to be a lot of good things happen, and there's going to be some not so great times. And you just got to the team that's going to win is the one that fights through it. And so I'm just real pleased with, I think offensively the first half, and defense played great the entire game for 4 quarters. Just a few miscues in the secondary, but starting the second half, we didn't come out firing like you'd like to and put the game away. But just like how they responded that third series, went on a 15-play, 9.5-minute drive, and those are the kind of drives that you consider championship drives.
That Mustang defense knew that number one, Kadrick Cobbs was going to be coming at them. Ends up with 212 yards, 4 touchdowns. Wow, just what an effort by your senior leader.
Yeah, I mean he's coming downhill. He's getting the ball. Everybody knows it, and we still can do it, and we don't plan on stopping.
Well, Coach, one other thing, we were talking just a minute before we started recording. We had to make a game day decision. Rick, with his special forces training from the Army, said, hey, this press box situation isn't good. We picked up our stuff, moved to the other side, and we broadcasted amongst the fans. And I saw you like literally 2 minutes before you came out on the field. You said, hey, Piper, we're coming out. We're going to walk through the stands. That was a special moment. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's something we've started here. We didn't do it the first 2 years we were in the semis. One, because the stadium we were in the old Texas Stadium, that we couldn't get it done. Could have done it the next one, but we lost those 2 games. Since then, we walked in the last 3 semis and won. So this stadium wasn't real conducive for the walk because we had to go from the back and then back out the stadium. But I wasn't about to find out if I should have walked or should not have walked. We walked.
Yeah, I remember when we did it against John Tyler, and
that was a great one.
It was unbelievably special, cold and misty, and the team went through it. It just warmed us all up, right away.
It's good, and really one of the biggest things. We had a good crowd show, so that's kind of our thank you to them walking through and getting personal with them.
Yeah, we were talking. The Guyer Nation showed up really in force, probably a bigger crowd than Westfield had. Blue Crew was out there in force.
No doubt. It was
fantastic.
Incredible.
I know. I mean, we were shocked. I mean, I figured we would have a good contingent, but I just couldn't believe it.
No, it was incredible.
I mean, Westlake and Guyer. I mean, that's Texas high school football royalty right there. So what does it mean to you, Coach? A, to be back in the state championship, and B, to be playing a traditional powerhouse like Austin Westlake?
Absolutely. I said it. I know there's been a quote tweeted out, and really wasn't throwing anything out there brashly, but it's the truth. I think, one, we want to be where we're at. We feel like we're a state championship program, and we've got staying power, and we've proven it, and we're back. So, but yes, let's go play Westlake. Let's go play Katy. Let's go play people who've been there as well, and have a good fan friendly state championship ball game, and I think that's what we got on our hands right now.
Well, this game's been advertised as a battle between Westlake's stingy defense and Guyer's explosive offense. I heard that. I bet I've heard it 5 times already this week on Twitter and everywhere else.
Right.
However, I can't get out of my mind the 66 points Westlake put on Katy Taylor. What do we know about the Chaparrals offensively and defensively?
Yeah, so offensively, they're scary. I mean, they are. They got a big old quarterback that I think is going to Fordham.
He looks like a linebacker.
He's big, yeah.
7'?
6'4", 225. Runs good ewenough to pick up first downs. He's real powerful, real strong. And when he's throwing the ball, he's accurate as we've seen. I mean, we played Ewers from Southlake, and on video, this kid can put it just like he can put it. So he's caught our attention, and they got 3 really good receivers. The number 11, it's the Magnum's got all the Power 5 offers, and then this little cat number 2 that leads the team in receiving. and then they got a freak freshman. He's like 6'3", 200, and has got like 800 yards receiving. So they're going to be tough, and their O-line looks like a Southlake O-line. A lot of similarities. I know Old Man Dodge is at Westlake, and then Young Man's at Southlake, and they run the same offense, run the exact same defense, share the same last name. A lot of similarities.
Well, Coach, how cool is it to get the final game of the night? In addition to our radio broadcast, the game will be also televised live on Fox Sports Southwest. What kind of crowd do you expect there at AT&T Stadium in Arlington?
Yeah, it's going to be an all-time great crowd. You know, right before us is Duncanville and North Shore, so they're going to fill it up. And I you know, Westlake's going to bring a big contingent. Anytime we've played in the title game, we've gone 2 levels from left to right with black on. So there's a picture behind me in my office that shows what it looked like in 2010, and I would expect it's going to look the same.
Yeah, I was to be honest, that first state championship game, just to look around and see the sheer numbers in there, you're literally in awe of that. Well, we're back indoors this week. Do you see this as an advantage to either team, really?
I think it's equal. I mean, I think their style of offense is conducive to being indoors. You know, they rely on precision in the passing game, and you take the wind out of that. That helps. And just watching us play, we're better indoors too. So I think it's going to no advantage anywhere.
Well, Saturday night you'll be saying goodbye to 2 of the most productive players. Certainly 2 of the one of the better players, but the most productive players in the history of Guyer High School in Seth Metter and Kadrick Cobbs. We talked a bunch of times this year about how this is a great team, but teams need leaders, right? So what do those 2 kids mean to you to this team?
Yeah, they mean a lot to us. I mean, they're just those guys that show up to work every day. They're doing right every day. They're always in front of the lines. You never have to worry about distractions. And then when those guys are the ones producing on the field, and you're a 1,300-yard receiver and you're a 2,500-yard rusher, and you're scoring lots of points. I mean, it's a blessing to any program because you don't have to coach leadership. The leadership's there, and it's not just those 2 guys, but those 2 specifically on our side of the ball have been fantastic, and they make this thing click.
Coach, you mentioned it earlier. You battled Riley Dodge, Southlake Carroll. This weekend, you faced Todd Dodge, a Texas legend, starting his 33rd year in coaching. Won a terrific run at Southlake Carroll. 4 out of 5 years won the state championship. Yep. What's your relationship like with Coach Dodge?
This last summer, we were in Lubbock, both speaking at a clinic, so we got to speak, on some dead time and just talk a little football. But I grew up when I was kind of finding my way in this profession when he was, winning 4 at Southlake. So he was somebody, and that program was somebody we were always looking up and so how they get it done, and you study, So I'm really excited to be on the opposite sideline of Todd Dodge.
Is this the second time that he's been back in the state championship since he took the Westlake job?
Yeah, second time. Yeah.
So I mean they've always been a great team, but they were sort of teetering on mediocre for a while, and he sort of brought that program back to I guess where they feel like they should be.
Yep, no doubt. When he's in charge, you can count on the program getting word to this kind of level.
Coach, something that we always are curious about in the broadcast booth and also the fan base, there's a little bit of humidity there on the field. I think we saw a little bit of cramping. What's the injury report coming into this championship game? Is everybody healthy?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, that's part of the formula to get here is, to be healthy, and we're rolling with the same guys we've been rolling with for about 12 weeks. Like I said, the only one that we lost, and I still hate that he's not on the field with us, is Trace Jewell, and so he's actually going to lead our captains out. He'll be the lone captain out there.
Oh wow, that's fantastic!
Just because he's the only guy that's lost it, and he means so much to us. So we're going to put him out there.
Just signed with Navy. Great opportunity for him to lead that team out there.
No doubt.
Well, we love to ask you this question each week, and it gets asked to the opposing coach too. So what has to happen this week? And the question's a little bit different this week, though. What has to happen this week for us to be celebrating the third state championship for the Wildcats when it's all said and done?
I'll give one on both sides of the ball. One is what every coach says on TV, and that's usually not me, but it's the only thing that can be said about how do we win a state championship from the offensive side of the ball, and that's just the only reason we got one blemish on our record versus the younger Dodge is we turned it over 4 times. If we don't do that, one, we're sitting here 15-0, and two, that cannot happen this week or we'll find ourselves in the bind. So we protect the football like we have done a great job of all year long. Besides that one game, we'll be celebrating. Two, on the other side of the ball, got to have great secondary play. The kid can throw the ball. He's precise. And we got to play aggressive, not looking back and afraid of failure. Just attack, make plays.
Is there an absolute no-no that Guyer has to avoid to come out on top?
An absolute no-no, you say? It's the turnover's it. I mean, it's all it. We only stop ourselves in 2019, and we haven't done it but once.
And how do you? So it's obviously you can try to say, oh, we're going to take the game like we always do and everything. But the reality is these are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
Right.
And so you guys have been there before. But the truth is, they haven't.
Right.
So this is new to them a little bit. Now, it helps that you got so much leadership, and we have a lot of seniors on this team, and even the juniors, are guys that played a little bit, whatever. But what happens if one little thing goes bad? How do you keep the team calm? Have you got a plan, I guess? I'm sure you do going into each time you've been in this situation.
Yeah.
But what is your plan, I guess, to sort of keep everybody calm?
So I think we've already done it. I think it's already in the mix, in our toolbox already. To bring up one of the greatest moments of the season is that when we were down at Cedar Hill, we used that. Look, I said, guys, I have been here. I've been the head coach on this sideline down like this. And I went through the coaching staff that's been there. And I said, if you'll just trust us like we trust you, and everybody knows how it ended. We end up winning. But I think these kids look to our sideline and see the experience that, yes, all right, that coach has been here. That coach, all right, they've already done this, guy. Let's just trust them. And then we put that trust back in them in the play. And so I think we've broken that already. I don't think there's any adversity that's going to happen Saturday night that is going to make us waver from being a state champion.
Well, your leadership, I've noticed it the last couple of weeks is just oozing with confidence. Obviously you've been there, you've done that, you won 2 state titles. That has to permeate amongst the entire staff down to the players.
I sure try to, and I think, in 2010 when we did not win it, I always tell this, I was not ready to win it. And if the head coach is not ready to win it, then you don't have a chance. And so I learned from my lessons. I learned from my failures. And, of course, we have the success after that. And, man, I sure try. Cause I think we're the best football team rolling in there. And it's my job to make sure we're the ones happy rolling out.
Before you ask that final question, because I know I cheated, right? So I know the script. I want to ask you something. I think this team's special, and I told you last week that I really do, and I think I sort of remember back when it dawned on me. Was there a play this year? Maybe not a play, but a moment in a game, or maybe after a game, where you realized, because I know you said we were good coming in the year, but right, where you realized, wow, this team's really something special.
Yeah, it was early, week 2. That I knew Cedar Hill was going to be the ones in our region that we had to get through to get to this late December football. And after coming off of Lido, everybody had questions about our defense. We gave up; it was 60-50 or whatever, and I had questions about our defense. To be honest with you. But they came out the next week versus a really good offense and put stops together, back-to-backs, and we're getting off the field against a very good Cedar Hill team. And I knew that, all right, this defense, but I kept telling everybody, wait till November, guys. We're going to have us a championship defense. And they just slowly got better from that point. But I saw the greatness in it in week 2 of Cedar Hill, and I already knew what our offense was going to be about.
Yeah. I mean, same game, but for me, it was watching us go out on the field. And we talk about getting off the bus, and Guyer's always had guts.
Right.
We've always been strong. We've been scrappy. We've had good pieces.
Right.
But I'd never seen a Guyer team get off the bus against a team like that and not only look good enough to compete, but look bigger, faster, stronger.
Right. And then and then walk with confidence.